Hello and welcome back to the Vessel and Voice podcast. I'm your host, Kim Charleston. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about whether or not anyone can channel and what is required to be able to do that. Let's get into it. I am so excited to be back recording episodes and channeling with Monty once again. As I spoke about before, I have been doing light language training with Jamie Price, and it was a really challenging experience. I'm not going to lie. It has really allowed me to face a lot of the beginner problems that I did not face the first time around when I started channeling. Because as I've shared before in the podcast, I started channeling kind of spontaneously. I now know the mechanics of why that happened and have developed a system that I teach others to help them learn how to channel. But now that I'm learning light language, it is a slightly different system. It is a slightly different type of channeling. And with it, oh man, did I get really thrown into all of that beginner feeling that so many people experience when they're starting channeling or deciding to do something. The amount of fear that I felt sometimes when I would sit down to do my light language homework or to do it with my in class buddy. Wow. I had never really experienced that before. This has given me a much deeper understanding of where many of my students are in the process of learning how to channel. And it has been a very beneficial thing for me as a channeling teacher. As part of that, Monty has been really in my energy, reminding me that we need to take this new information that I have and make it beneficial for all of you. So, we're going to be opening a new version of a class that I taught 2 years ago for people who want to learn the basics of channeling. And as part of this revision of this program, it's really stepping into a new version of helping you really understand the mechanics of channeling and how you can become a channel for yourself. It's really a class that's intended for you to learn the mechanics of channeling with the support that beginners often need to help them overcome fears or the need for external validation to know that what you are receiving is valid, is legitimate, is real. And I'm very excited to offer this class to you. The Conscious Vessel program is going to be open for enrollment on April 15th, and there are only 12 spots available. The Conscious Vessel program is a 6-week live course that Monty and I will be teaching to help you go from, I think I maybe might be sensing something, but I'm not sure, to having a solid relationship with your spirit guide. So that way you can get guidance and know that it's clear, accurate, and when to take action on it. Because it's really important for us to build that trust, not only in our own discernment, but with our spirit guides in that relationship. So that's what we'll be doing in this class. And it starts on May 13th and is going to be limited to just 12 people. So that way I can tune in psychically of what's happening in your energy, what your spirit guide is like, to help provide you with mentorship of altering your energy or changing it so that way you can get more clear and accurate guidance, but also to help you verify the things that you're sensing, feeling, and knowing by using my own psychic skills to tune into your guide to provide that validation. When I first started, I felt my guide so clearly, and yet, even still, having someone be a channeling mentor for me to provide that validation was a really important part of my channeling development, and I'm really excited to offer this to my students. Now, because the class is limited to only 12 students, we do have a wait list so you can really get in early and make sure that you save your spot. So the wait list is now available, and if you join the wait list, you'll also get access to a very special bonus of a one-on-one session with me of a channeling assessment, so that way we can have some one-on-one time to really troubleshoot the areas that you may be more challenged by and give you some additional resources to get to that clear and accurate guidance. It's an $88 value that you get just by signing up for the wait list when you join the program. The first 6 people to join the program from either the wait list or just when the regular cart opens, will also receive an $88 value, one question deep channeling with Monty, where you'll be able to ask any question that you would like and get a recorded channeled message from Monty on that question. We're really excited to offer this class and to help even more people start to step into their own channeling practice for themselves. So if you're interested in finding out more, you can click the link below to join the waitlist and get all the information on the class, including the schedule and what will be included in the class. If you're earlier in your journey and you're not sure if this is right for you, you can always grab my free Meet Your Spirit Guides meditation or join us for an upcoming free live version of the meditation. We will be hosting 2 free live events for you to get connected with your spirit guides and to feel what that relationship could become like. One on April 15th when the cart opens, and then another one on April 29th. So you'll also find a link in the show notes below to register for either one of those classes. It is free to attend, so there's no reason not to. If you've been interested and have been feeling like your spirit guides might be calling out to you, now is your chance to begin to really start to develop that connection and get some guidance on how you can do that in this free live event. Today's podcast is all about whether or not anyone can channel. Because one of the most common questions that I get, both from listeners of this podcast as well as people that want to learn channeling, is, can I really do that? Is that something that's accessible to me? I've even had students that have been doing spiritual work for decades ask me this, thinking, it's really a skill that other people can do, and then I need to pay them to be able to do channeling for me. And as someone that does channeling, I 100% understand the value of having someone channel for you. That's what this podcast is all about, right? But at the same time, having a direct relationship with your own source of guidance, whether it's your spirit guides, which is a great place to start, or a source of guidance like an archangel or any of the other beings that are really available to us, it not only provides you with that guidance in the moment when you need it, but it has a really profound effect on your spiritual journey. And we'll be talking about that in future episodes over the coming weeks. But first, can anyone channel? How does that actually work? What is required? And is it right for me? The first thing that you should know is that, yes, everyone can channel. You are channeling right now. And that's what Monty's going to talk about in their channeled message for this week of what you're channeling and what that actually entails. But from the logistical standpoint of, okay, I want to connect to my spirit guides. Can I even do that? What's required? Everyone has that capability. Now, it is important that we talk about who should be doing channeling and whether or not it's the right fit for you, because it isn't for everybody. Although it's an ability that we all have, sometimes it's not suitable for our energy. So I want to talk about that first before we get into the logistics of what the requirement is with our energy and where we're at with that. The first thing to know about whether or not channeling is something that you should be doing is that you have a solid self-identity. And it could be in flux. I don't mean that you really have to know every little intimate detail about who you are and that soul energy that you are, but you have a solid identity. You have the ability to say, this is me, that's my spirit guide. I understand that we're different. For most people, that is something that is very easy for us to see, sense, understand. We know who we are. We know what's not us. It's something that comes very naturally. For some people, that's not the case. And this is especially the case in where you have dissociative disorders or identity disorders. So it's important that if you have experienced one of these, that maybe you want to talk to your mental health professional about doing these sorts of practices, because it can be difficult for you to determine what is yours and what is a spirit guides if that's the case, especially if you want to go down the route to more blended states of channeling like Monty and I do. It can be difficult for people with dissociative disorders to be able to differentiate themselves from the source of guidance. Now, we all have that little bit of, oh, is it my thinking mind? That's not really what I mean. It's more of I don't know what's my identity and what's my spirit guide's identity. So while it is more rare, it is something to be aware of. As well, channeling is probably not right for you if you're someone who is consistently engaging in disassociative practices. That can be things like plant medicine, it can be things like illegal substances, it can be things as simple as alcohol. The more that we use things that create that more disassociative state, that create disconnection between our consciousness and our vessel, the more easily that we can get into those identity problems that I just talked about. So we want to make sure that if we're going to be engaging with channeling on a consistent basis, that we're aware of that a overabundance of use of these things or using them outside of very specific containers can cause issues when we're channeling. So we want to be aware of that. It's not that you have to give up alcohol or other substances that create that more disassociative state. It's that you have to know, okay, I'm using it at this time. I know what happens to my energy then, and I'm not going to channel when that's occurring, and that I've created, those sections basically of this is when I'm engaging in that sort of behavior and this is when I'm channeling, and neither the two shall meet. The other reason why channeling might not be right for you is that your energy is something that you're not very in control of yet. So, if you've had issues with feeling like you have a negative entity attachment or you have very porous boundaries and have a hard time with excessive people pleasing, not just the normal human amount, but that it's really affecting your life, that's something that you want to work on first to really solidify your ability to close off your energetic boundaries, to be more in control of your energy. And I don't mean that you have to have everything on lockdown, because certainly I still have porous energy from time to time, but more of that, you're able to consciously get in control of your energy. Because that brings us to what is actually required to do channeling. So, over time, I've kind of changed my opinions a little bit. One of the things that I have often taught in the past was that we needed to be able to get our energy up to a higher vibrational state where we could meet our spirit guides and then we could get on that level and be able to connect with them. That is one method of channeling. It's the one that I find works the most easily for my students, and that is what I teach. But it is also that our vessel, the container that we are creating for the guidance to arrive in, has space. That there is enough room within our energy that is not completely occupied by stuff that is in us, so that way we can have that space for the guidance to come in to receive it. That is why that you don't have to be in a high vibrational state to be able to get guidance from your spirit guides. So this is a slight shift in how I am talking about channeling and how we can get into the channeling state because it's a little bit more nuanced and I've learned a lot more having now taught a lot more people how to do channeling than when I first started. So one of the things that we really want to become aware of is our energetic state. Do I have the ability to get in control of my energy to be able to consciously raise it or to consciously clear it out or a combination of both? Do I have the ability to ground my energy sufficiently so that way my nervous system feels calm enough to receive? Those are the sorts of things that we want to be conscious of and that are really the mechanics that we have to learn to be able to channel for most people. Obviously, there are people for whom that stuff comes really easily, or they've done a lot of spiritual work. And that was the case for me. I did extensive energy work and energy healing, clearing the space, learning how to get in control of my energy. And that's why I spontaneously channeled for the first time when it happened, was because my energy not only could be raised up really well, but I also had space in my energy because I'd done a lot of that clearing. So that's really the prerequisites basically for being able to channel is really understanding that we have that strong identity. We're in charge of our energy enough that then we can learn the mechanics of creating that vessel space to receive guidance for us to connect. And that's what we'll be covering and teaching in the Conscious Vessel program. If you want to learn how to really do the mechanics of channeling, and then we're going to develop our relationship with one individual spirit guide so that way we can really trust that guidance that's coming through and to develop that discernment. It all starts with really understanding that we have to have that solidified identity. We have to have that conscious control over energy at least a little bit. As part of the class, we also learn how to get in control of our energy better. So it is one of those things that it's really just self awareness. If you are someone that really struggles with energetic boundaries, then it's probably something that you want to work on. And I have some other resources that I'll talk about in future episodes for that Monty and I have recently developed that we're really excited about. So now that we've talked a little bit about why everyone can channel, but maybe not everybody should, let's go to Monty and hear what they have to share about channeling from their perspective. It is our great pleasure to help you understand why you are already a channel right now. It is something that humans don't quite recognize because they often think of the soul as being separate from the body. That the body and the thinking mind and the nervous system are complex things that are only part of physical reality, that they determine who you are and how you function through the world, and that the soul is something separate on another level that one must reach a higher ascended state to become in union with. But what we want you to realize today is that your soul is the process behind all of your physicality. Your soul is the thing that determines how your body functions, how your logical mind perceives, how your nervous system is created. Now, of course, those things are affected by external reality, physical reality, and have changed over time as part of evolution. We are not denying that. But what we want you to realize today is that your body is contained within your soul energies. It is not the other way around. It is not that your soul is buried deep in some unreachable, unknown place within you, but rather that your body is merely the manifestation of your soul energies coming through into physical form. That your entire energetic aura, your energetic being and envelope, is your soul energies, is a part, an extension of that beingness of who you are, contained within that energy. This is a concept that is often foreign to many humans because they are so focused on the physical world all the time, on physicality, on the thinking mind, on the processes of getting from point A to point B, the linearity of the world in which you live. And so the soul that exists at a timeless place, in a place that knows little linearity, feels as though it is very separate. But the truth is, the physical body is an extension of that energy contained within the soul. It is merely one part that has come into physical creation. As such, your physical body is acting as a vessel for your soul every moment of every day, whether or not you are aware of it. You are acting out your own soul energies on a consistent basis. How much or how little you are emphasizing those energies is unique to every individual. What we mean by this is your consciousness is your soul energies. The ability for you to exist and function comes from the energies of your soul in the first place. But you can be allowing the external energies that are not your soul to condition you to come into your energetic extension, your vessel, to then determine how you are going about in linearity, the thoughts that you are having, the way that you are being, the mechanics of your body. The more that you instead focus on the energy of your soul, of which you are in entirety, the easier it is for you to access what feels as though you are more aptly channeling that non-linear, non-time and space aspect of who you are. But that is available to you every moment of every day. For most individuals, it is only accessible by tuning out from the external energies that you have internalized and allowing you to shift your focus and your conscious attention on that energy of your soul through meditation, through quieting the mind, by allowing yourself a moment of pause. Because in those moments, it is very natural that you return back into the energy that you are. That when you are able to work with the systems to tend to your human physical form and physical mind, that automatically you tune back into that energetic essence of who you are. It is because that is underneath everything that you do. That energy is you. That energy is everything that you are. And yet over that, you have supplanted all of these external energies. And that is why often in spirituality is talked about going within, because it is allowing you to access that lower layer of that foundational energy that makes you who you are. Meditation is a wonderful practice for allowing you to go in, to realize that you are indeed channeling all the time that soul energy of who you are. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But because that energy creates your existence in the first place, you are a channel right now. And this is something that we want you to really realize for yourself. Because of that innate ability of being in that timeless, non-linear space, that way of existing that is very natural to you as soon as you allow yourself to go within, that is your natural state. You are naturally a channel. You are naturally psychic. You are naturally able to exist within that timeless, unseen world because you are that timeless, unseen, nonlinear world. Channeling in practice with other beings is helping you return to that knowledge of that timeless state of your soul. It helps you learn how to access that point of view, to come into that consciousness of that timelessness, that unseenness, that version of yourself that is truly all that you are, that creates all that you are. The practice of channeling trains you how to go within, to access that layer of your natural state of being. Because through this state of being is how you then connect and collaborate with other spirit beings, energies, nonlinear, unseen ideas, the other souls that are behind everything that exists. Because just as you are a channel for that unique energy of you, that soul, so is not everything outside of you. Physical, in reality, non-physical, from beings to ideas, all of those are the same. The soul consciousness is at the foundation of their existence. So, with this new knowledge, understand that the practice of channeling allows you to go within, to then connect outside in a deeper, more connected way, to allow you to exist in that non-physical, unseen, non-linear, no time and space way that is already natural to you. It is just beneath all of the things that you believe that you are. All of the external energies that you have internalized and said, this is me, but are truly just a mask of that true essence of you. And that channeling allows you to access that true essence of yourself. We hope that this helps you realize your true nature. We send you great love. That is all. This channeling from Monty really actually shared a lot of information that I've never heard before. So this was so insightful for me. And it's something that I have experienced and that I've witnessed a lot of my students experiencing as well. Of that, when we get into that channeling state, what we're really doing is really removing or disengaging from that external energy, all that noise that we have within our energy, our nervous system, our thinking mind, and we're getting to that sub layer of our energy, and we're consciously focusing on creating that space. It is a practice that then allows us to come more into our energy, that allows us to really recognize that unique identity that we have, really solidifying that identity, firming it up, showing us what our energetic boundaries are, really coming into that consciousness of how we can work with our energy. And I really feel like Monty sharing this is such a interesting timing, especially since the world is so chaotic outside of us right now. There is so much energetic noise out there, and developing that skill of really being able to tune into that soul energy that's running beneath our interaction with all that external energy allows us to really see the ways that we can manifest and work with that energy even more deeply, even, outside of channeling. And I've seen this in my students that as they work on these skills, it really helps them come into their own a whole lot more. It helps them understand their energy and come into a deeper understanding of themselves and a deeper self reliance. That channeling kind of has that knock on effect in that way, spiritually speaking. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. If you'd like to find out more about the Conscious Vessel program or join the waitlist, you can find the link below. And if you're earlier on in your journey, feel free to download the Meet Your Spirit Guides meditation that's free, or join us for one of our upcoming events to help you get into that group energy and really get that extra boost to be able to meet your spirit guides if it's something that you're maybe struggling with or had some difficulties in the past. I'm really excited to continue to speak a lot more about channeling in the coming episodes. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.